Walk in the Garden is supposed to be fun. Nothing fun of that result tonight. 122-112, your final score from MSG. The Nuggets fall for the third time on this road trip, 3 straight losses. You've got Nuggets Postgame Live, Vic Lombardi and Chris Dempsey. Again, odd from the get-go. It's the 4th straight game that the Nuggets have now allowed over 120 points. Remember, during that streak when they won 12 of 15, defense was pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. Hasn't been the last 4 games.
It hasn't. This Garden was a little shop of horrors is what it was for the Nuggets. And I'm glad you started there because I think offensively these two teams were different. So the Nuggets offense was basically kind of like individuals having their moments and that kind of equaling a point total at the end versus a Knicks team where the ball movement was there, the cutting was there, the passing was there, everything. They shared the ball really well. And the Nuggets defensively just couldn't stop them from operating in the manner that they wanted versus the Knicks defense, which they clamp down on cutters. They clamp down on drivers. You see it reflected in the Nuggets assist number, which is 21 for the game. And if the Nuggets offense isn't operating in that manner, then it could be a long night depending on your opponent.
If you wake up tomorrow and look at the box score and you're wondering what happened to Nikola Jokic, 17-6
at first, and even into the second half, he just didn't look like he was, all the way back in his normal form. And if that's not going to be the case, then obviously it's going to be very difficult for the Nuggets to win a game. And Nikola just it was tough from the start and could never really recover.
One thing Michael Malone mentioned before tip-off tonight, you can't give up the rock against this team. Our Breaks Plus stop of the game brought to you by Breaks Plus. A lot of Knicks stops that resulted in easy buckets. 14 Nuggets turnovers leading to 23 points.
Yeah, just too high of a rate of return on the turnovers. I mean, I think in a normal NBA game, if you said a team turned it over 14 times, it's not egregious. But if they're going to score 23 points off of those turnovers, that's the issue. And so a lot of live ball turnovers. And then when they weren't live ball turnovers, when the Knicks got it back inbounds, they just scored on a great many of those possessions. And you weren't able to hit them up on their end. 6 turnovers for just 3 points that the Nuggets were able to get from those turnovers.
Listen, nobody scored more than Jamal Murray tonight. He finished with a game-high 33. But on the other side, Jalen Brunson got whatever he wanted. 30 points. 15 assists. And for a guy who's not a big guard, he plays big.
Yeah, he does. And he's really super crafty. And if you think that you're just going to sit on his left hand and that's going to be okay, then he's got another thing coming. He's got a lot in his bag. He gets right into your paint. He draws contact really well, makes free throws, and then he can step out and make a 3-point shot. He scored 16 points in the third quarter. That third quarter had his fingerprints all over it. And when it's all said and done, he dominated a game for a team that scored 122.
Well, let's hear what Coach Malone has to say about this one. When we come back on Nuggets Post-Game Live, we'll head you back to MSG and hear from the coach of the Nuggets. To MSG and hear from Coach Malone.
Yeah, I think we were up 8 at one point in that third quarter. Got off to a great start coming out of the break. God bless. And I think they closed 27-12 after that. I think the big stat for me tonight is the turnovers, 20-point differential. They scored 23 points off our mistakes. We only scored 3 off of theirs. And, to beat that team in this arena in front of that crowd and you spot them 20 points off mistakes, it's going to be really hard to overcome, which led to the 25 fast break points. But, better fight, better effort. Just got to be a little bit cleaner.
With Nikola getting into foul trouble early on, how does changing your rotation sometimes impact the rhythm of a game?
Well, for him, it impacts it because, he's out at the 10:30 mark of the first with 2 quick fouls. And I was really proud of the group that closed out and played the rest of that quarter because I thought we weathered the storm. They got up by 12 early. We fought back. And we only lost that first quarter by 4. And the group to start the second quarter was playing well, and allowed us time to get Nikola back in. But in this league, you just can't allow those big runs that we did. Jalen Brunson had an amazing third quarter. I could have done a better job of trying to get the ball out of his hands because I think he had 18 points in that quarter. And he's a good player, and they're a very good team.
You guys didn't play out of Nikola quite as much in the second half. Does he need to look for those opportunities? Do teammates need to kind of find him more? What did you see in regards to that?
Yeah, both. I mean, obviously Jamal was really aggressive tonight, which is a good thing. Jamal was looking for his. We called some post-up plays for Nikola, try to get him down there. And, maybe depending upon how they were guarding it, he was bumping back a lot, popping to the perimeter, not going down there. So, yeah, I'm sure it's probably a combination of things. And then I ran him the whole second half because he played so few minutes in the first half. But that's a lot to do, in this kind of a game, how physical they are, how fast they play, to play the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
The lineup changed with Aaron back in the starting five. What made you confident that he was ready for the increase in minutes again in that starting role? And then what went into the decision to go with Russ in that group still?
Yeah, just, talking with Short, just talking with Aaron, feeling that we could get him, over 30 minutes. And if that's the case, then, he can go back to becoming our starting power forward. He's been our starting power forward since day one. He was our power forward when we won a championship. And, it's good to have him back out there. Never an easy decision. Christian Brown has been great for us this year. Not good. He's been great. And he's done everything that's been asked of him, but I just like keeping Russell out there. I think the Russ-Nikola dynamic is the best two-man combination in the NBA right now. And I didn't want to disrupt their rhythm. Knowing that CB, whether he comes off the bench and plays 29 minutes like tonight or he starts, he's going to give us the same thing every night. And we need that as a starter or coming off the bench. So I applaud CB's understanding of what we're trying to do. And, hopefully we can try to find a rhythm with that group.
It seems like Christian is, still doing.
Yeah, regarding Russell Westbrook, one thing I wanted to point out, this is a guard, mind you.
Yep.
He led all players with 14 rebounds tonight.
Yeah.
Along with 14 points.
So in the first half, the Nuggets had this element of they were hard charging. You heard Coach Malone talk about what they were when Nikola went off the court and how proud he was of how they carried themselves. Part of that was just kind of this hard charging, driving team. They sought contact. They got to the free throw line a bunch in that first half, and players like Russell Westbrook were just on the boards all the time. And so, they had a toughness element to them in that first half. The mistakes kind of took over and made that moot in the second half. But certainly Russell Westbrook, he had a rebound late in the game when it was pretty well decided. That was just a monster rebound.
Yeah.
He'd full go all the time.
All right, credit Jamal Murray when Joker had to go to the bench in the first half. Jamal kept him in the game. Ball Corporation. Who's all in for the Nuggets? Aluminum all in, and this guy was making shots early. He's the reason they came back from that early deficit.
Yeah, I really liked this from Jamal today. Sometimes he can, especially with the different, depending on how the plays are called, he gets into the corner and they want to kind of get him off of some action off the ball. In this game, he was on the ball, and he was on the ball all the time. And there were some times where some other players wanted the ball, and he just shook that off and just said, I'm staying on the ball. I'm going to control things that were happening out here. And I love that, Jamal. Aggressive, looking for a shot, knocking that shot down. 33 points for him in this game.
Now, he took 25 shots, but let's say that let's be honest here. We have wanted him. I know you've said it. You want him to shoot more.
I really do. I'd love to see him shoot 20 times a game. I just think that is how aggressive. I mean, he's a talented player. See, when Jamal Murray gets going, the points really can start ratcheting up. And there's a case to be made here that the Nuggets, you lose by 12. You might lose by 20 if he doesn't have the kind of game that he had tonight. And so you got to get players like that really impact winning or keep you close in games. You got to get them shots early, often, and consistently.
Not close enough as the Nuggets fall. The third straight loss, 122-112. When we come back, take you inside that Nuggets locker room. Did this go to Spike? Yeah, it went to Spike.
It did. Do the right thing. The Nuggets just kind of just a little bit of step slow by the end.
Chevy postgame stats, 3 points. Again, we're talking about 3-point shooting, right? There are too many corner threes given up. 14 threes by the Knicks.
Yeah, so 8 of them, 8 out of the 14 in the corners. And in 2 games combined, you've given up 38 3-point makes. And look, it's the NBA, man. You start giving up 3-pointers in the bunches that the Nuggets have given them up in the last couple of games. It's hard to win in this game, and you don't do anything else that kind of equalizes that. They beat you in points in the paint. They beat you in fast break points. I guess just all the areas were not going the Nuggets' way.
Got to show you one other play with less than 8 minutes to play. We both looked at each other and said, what's going on here? The Nuggets still had a chance, right? Down by 7. Joker misses the hook. Well, watch what happens here. Again, the shot clock is fresh for the Knicks. What is Cam Payne doing? Does he think he's Steph Curry? What? I know they won the game. I get it, but what was that?
I don't know. And Vic, to make matters worse, is like the Knicks are trying to stretch out a lead at that point. Like
milk the clock, settle it.
I don't know what that was at all. It was terrible.
After that, I said, okay, well, I think the Nuggets still have a chance.
They'll be fine, but
it was not to be. When we come back, Nuggets postgame live. We'll take you inside the Denver locker room, hear from the players. Can't be happy about the result. I mean, didn't even come close.
Hit the backboard.
It's been a minute since Aaron Gordon started a game for the Denver Nuggets, but I thought he was pretty efficient tonight. Back to the starting lineup. 6 of 7 for 15 points and 6 boards.
Yeah, stayed within himself during this game. Played, a lot. Did a lot of the things that we've come accustomed to seeing from him. Not even knocked in that 3-point shot, but you see all the stuff around the rim. He didn't try to come in and be a hero. He didn't try to come in and force the issue. He just blended right back into his same kind of role and carved out a really nice game.
Yeah, we speculated when he'd return to the starting lineup. It happened to be tonight against the Knicks. AG in the Nuggets locker room with Katie Wingy.
And we talked about how good that offense is at shoot-around this morning. What made them so difficult to defend tonight?
They play really well off of each other. There's a good chemistry, good flow to their game. They got a good camaraderie over there. So, got a lot of threats.
What could you have done differently against Jalen Brunson, the way he attacks?
Could have blitzed him a couple. Could have maybe thrown his zone, A guy like that, if you just continue to give him kind of the same look, he's going to figure it out eventually.
The turnovers continue to be an issue in this 3-game losing streak for you guys. How do you fix that?
Just take care of the ball.
Is there a way to do that a little bit cleaner than you have been?
Not really.
It's that simple?
Yeah.
What did you like about how you guys were able to kind of stay in the game after New York makes a run? You've got Jokic foul trouble. What did you kind of like about that stretch, I guess?
It's a winnable game. Disappointed in this one for sure because that was definitely a winnable game. So, I don't know.
Did you feel pretty good with the latest up in minutes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that was fine. I don't know. I got to look at the game tape again, watch this one over and see really what happened.
What were the conversations like between you and Coach leading up to putting you back in that starting lineup?
That's just something that I'm going to keep between us.
Yes. Thank you.
Gotta say, I love that tie, AG. To victory, brought to you by Pathwater. Here's what it looks like for the rest of this road trip. Friday night, Philly. Saturday, Charlotte. Good news is, on a back-to-back, we know the Nuggets play well in back-to-backs, especially those second games.
Yep, that's true. And they need to. They need 2 wins to end this road trip. To get themselves back on track. And you see the Pelicans there twice. And while the Pelicans haven't played the greatest basketball in the whole wide world, Zion Williamson is back on the court for them. So there's talent that you got to get through to beat that basketball team. And you just want to start feeling good about yourself and how you're operating on this court. So, can the Nuggets get there?
And we know Philly's injured. They don't have Joel Embiid. 2 games left on this. Is it asking too much to win these last 2? on the road trip?
No. I think it's not. I think they should definitely win those last two. I think they should. Well, look, let's just take the road trip for what it is. I like to get ahead of myself a little bit, but certainly those are two beatable teams.
All right, that'll do it for Nuggets Postgame Live. They fall short in the Garden tonight. They were up by 8 midway through the third, but things took a turn for the worse, and they fall in New York City. We'll see you again Friday night. Nuggets and Sixers. That game right here on Altitude Sports.